Joe, I
I
suppose
don't.
when you look at the congestion around Christmas time, there can be sort of pivotal games always that sort of define a season. But this is almost like the bottom tier in terms of fixtures for ye, in terms of the scramble. There's no Leicester City, there's no Leeds, there's no Southampton, there's no Ipswich, the teams that are flying around the top of the table. Obviously, your first up is Stoke, then you have Queen's Park Rangers, Norwich, Bristol, all teams around the same path, dare I say, in the table as you. So is this really a pivotal point in terms of these four fixtures to pick up really positive results before games of the big against the big boys come calling again?
Yeah, I would say because of the kind of situation we've got to now, with the stage of the season we're at, and you look at our league position and our points tally, by getting to that stage, we've put ourselves in a position where these are really important games because of those opponents. It's important we don't put too much on it, because there is still a long way to go. So, I don't want to be too hypothetical and say if we were to lose to, say, a QPR, but the bottom line is if we did lose to any of these opponents in the next four games, there's still plenty of time to make those points up. So we don't need to create an unnecessary pressure. We do literally have to take it one at a time, and just for where we're at in the short term, we need to start getting points, even just for the sort of the feel good factor around our group and the belief in what we're doing. But of course, I understand what you're saying. When you have the away games like we had, consecutive midweek away games of Ipswich and Leicester, people kind of understand that those are difficult games. Now these are opponents that are in similar positions to us, so it's a good opportunity. But as I said, there's plenty more games after this, so we just have to. I think whatever opponent we would have in the next four, when you go six without a win, you want to win your next one, and that's where we are now.
I suppose, Joe, everybody will realise and people will say, not involved with Millwall and from the outside perspective, that the jewel in Millwall's crown is Zian Flemming. He's been the most standout player, the most influential player. That bit of sort of Marquance, that bit of brilliance that he can come up with, those moments of inspiration. I suppose Millwall in previous years were flying high. They were touching on the cusp of sort of playoff places. Is there a fear maybe that the big dogs, the big guns will come hunting for Zion now? And he is so pivotal to Millwall.
To be honest, it's not a fear that I have at the moment. I've been working with Zion for, well, I'd say 7 games together now. If I'm honest, my immediate priority with him is to get him to his best form, because, as you say, I think probably the standout story around Z last year was that he scored 15 goals, I think. We're a team at the moment that's struggling to get results because we're not putting games to bed, and to do that we need to score some goals. So I want to see him, playing back with a bit more freedom and scoring goals, before I even start considering whether our phone's going to start ringing in January. If that happens, then that's something that we consider as and when. But at the moment, we're a team that isn't performing to its best level. Zian is a big part of this team, and we all need to up our levels and step up. And to be honest, big dogs coming calling for our players is a nice problem that I'd like to have, because it would indicate that things are going really well on the pitch. And at the moment, that's all we're aiming for. We're aiming for performance levels on the pitch to improve.
Yeah, and I suppose second last question for me. I suppose Danny McNamara. I suppose
Right,
he's
Jim,
spoken
we'll
about
have
it.
to call this on the last one here. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, yeah. Danny McNamara, I suppose he's spoken about in the past about his burning ambition to play for Ireland in the sort of future. And at your time working under Danny, in terms of his professionalism, him as a pro, do you see someone that is just sort of that driven sort of attitude? Does that come across every day when you meet him, that here's a guy that is determined to perform every time he goes out in the field?
Yeah, well, firstly, Danny, out of everyone in our squad, Danny is probably one of the most unlucky players in terms of my time at the club, because we came in, had the first game against Sheffield Wednesday, went with the team that I'd sort of bits I'd seen from the outside. I had a bit of previous knowledge on Brook Norton Cuffy, so various reasons Danny didn't play the first game, which could have gone either way. But then shortly after that, Danny got an injury in training. missed the international break where we were working on the pitch together, missed the game back after that. And then we just hit one of those sort of periods where Ryan Leonard came in, felt Ryan took his opportunity well and was playing well. Brooks continued to do well. So Danny's done absolutely nothing wrong, but had probably, you know, been hard done by in the little opportunity he's had in terms of not starting a game. So I'm actually looking forward to the day where it looks and feels right to go, okay, see Danny start. And give him an opportunity, because from what I see in training every day, yeah, absolutely, it's a good professional, good trainer, good lad who's very passionate about Millwall and playing for Millwall, which even from the conversations I've had with him is very clear. And that's what you want around your squad. So I can imagine there's a bit of frustration from Danny at the moment with how little he's played. I would completely understand that and empathise with it. And again, there was just some unfortunate circumstances around it with the little injury he picked up, which slowed him down a bit in terms of a new start with me. But yeah, been great to work with, and hopefully when he gets more of an opportunity